What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another MLB DFS video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Welcome to GreenLightDFS.com. As you can see on the screen here, I've got the Greenlight Optimizer up with the games for today, with our personal projections for each player. We're going to go through and give y'all a core five as we always do, a high five. We're going to do two pitchers, three bats to get you started on the slate for today. We have been on an absolute tear for baseball. We started the NBA Finals off with a bang, almost got a takedown on the NBA Showdown for the first game of the year. First game of the year. First game of the finals. So, man, let's just keep it going. We have a big 13 game slate on tap today. So let's get straight into it. There's multiple ways that you could go, multiple ideas that I have for this slate, but I'm going to talk about my main people. So to start off with the pitching, Wacha and Logan Webb are the two that are very interesting to me. Outside of Logan Webb, Valdez is also a very solid option for me, as you can see with his projection up here. My only issue with Valdez, he's facing a hot Angels offense. Like, Valdez is a guy who should have a solid floor here. I believe he's at home. I believe he's at home. Let me see. Yeah, he's at home in Houston, which is a more pitcher friendly ballpark than a hitter. But the Angels are a hot offense right now, so that's the tough part. Or you got Logan Webb also at home in San Francisco, which is a very pitcher friendly ballpark, going against Baltimore. It's a tough decision. I'm leaning Webb slightly just because he's cheaper. But honestly, whoever you believe personally to have the higher K upside should probably be the way to go here. So if you think Valdez is that guy, then go Valdez. If you think Webb's that guy, go Webb. But those are the two guys I'm most interested in. Wheeler is on the road in Washington. Otani's on the road to Houston. Most of the time when I pick my pitchers, one other thing for me is like, yes, sometimes I pick pitchers that are on the road, but a lot of times you'll notice that my pitchers are at home most of the time because they just statistically over their careers, they play better at home. It just is what it is. So Wacha and Webb. Let's talk about Wacha real quick. He's facing Chicago at home in San Diego, which is also a pitcherish friendly ballpark. So Wacha is in a good win spot here. Both of those teams are favored. Um, so he's favored. His team's favored to win by a minus 160. Logan Webb's team's favored to win by a minus 155. You have Valdez, who's also an option. His team's projected to win by a minus 130. So all these guys are expected to get the wins. They're expected to be able to pitch fairly deep. Wacha isn't a guy who's going to strike a ton of people out, but he could be that consistent, solid outcome guy who gets you about 15 or so at 7-4, and that's all you really need. So Wacha and Logan Webb are the two pitchers I'm sitting with. When it comes to bats, I've definitely got some guys that are sticking out to me that are very interesting that hopefully end up low owned as well. If you sort point per salary at first base, actually, I'm not seeing them pop up there. Let me see. Brandon Donovan sticks out to me number one at 2.9. Projected to lead off for St. Louis. Got the lefty righty matchup against Roansy Contreras. St. Louis is a high projected team today. They're projected to put some runs on the board. And Donovan's got that lefty righty matchup against Contreras, who Contreras struggles a bit versus lefties. So Brandon Donovan in a high projected team total, lefty righty matchup, under 3K, projected to lead off. All great things for Brandon Donovan in this one at first base as a cheap value option at first. At third base, somebody that I'm loving and I've been playing a lot of lately, even when he's on the road, and that's Ryan McMahon. Ryan McMahon's been on a tear. He's got the lefty-righty matchup against Jordan Lyles. Lyles struggles against lefties. McMahon does not struggle versus righties. He's hitting the ball very, very well. Obviously, you prefer him always at home, but at 4.6 for a guy who's been hitting the way he has, he's a fantastic option at third base, and he's really popping for me at third today in a great matchup with the lefty-righty matchup against Lyles. So love him in this spot. And then last but not least, my favorite hitter on the entire slate today is going to be Bryce Harper against Josiah Gray. Bryce Harper's got the amazing matchup against Josiah Gray. Josiah, throughout his career, has struggled badly, giving up a ton of power to lefties, and Bryce Harper is a power lefty. So this is not a recipe for success for Josiah Gray. This is a spot where Bryce Harper realistically could hit 2 home runs. So I'm expecting a big game out of Harper here. Hopefully that comes to fruition. But at 6K, you're having to spend for him, but he is my favorite overall bat on this entire slate in a great matchup against Josiah Gray. So definitely love him here, and definitely love Philly as a stack. Some of those Philly lefties, Schwarber, Harper. Definitely like some Colorado guys against Lyles. Definitely like the St. Louis guys. against Contreras. There's multiple ways to go today, man. We got a lot of offense. So, yeah, take your time, get your pitching right, and then find those spots you want to get in the bats. You don't have to stack anywhere necessarily. But the stack options that are sticking out to me would be Philly as one, St. Louis as one, Colorado's interesting. Maybe San Diego against Tyon. There's many options, so it's a big slate, man. So we got a lot to study. I'm gonna get back in. I'm gonna log back into the slate. As always, if you guys are interested in our MLB optimal lineups, you can go to greenlightdfs.com. We will post the optimals for MLB about 15 to 30 minutes before the game start, depending on if we have all the news we need or not. And then we will post what we believe to be the most optimal version that you can play on DraftKings and FanDuel, as well as early on in the day. Normally, probably here pretty soon, I'll be posting my favorite prize picks of the day that you can either mix or match or play together if you want. But remember, if you play them together, don't play crazy. If you mix and match, spread your bankroll out. Always play the same amount of bankroll that you play. You know what I mean? Don't ever elevate your bankroll. Don't, just stay consistent with it. The best way to do is two-player pairings, I've found. Um, Play a cheap five-pick flex, six-pick flex if that's what you want to do. Because you guys can make your own decisions. I'm just giving advice. Hey, but I'll put my favorite picks for Prize Picks over on the MLB Access page as well. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Let's get it again. I'm out.